Hi, boys and girls. We are going to start the subject of social studies. In third grade, our social studies units revolve all around our state of Michigan. And first, we're going to jump in by exploring the geography of Michigan. The geography is the study of the places, so we're going to look all over the state of Michigan at what it has to offer. Before we get started with that tomorrow, we're going to read a story called Roxaboxen, which is about a made-up community made up by these children. But in this community, they have lots of examples of different characteristics that geographers study. The first type of characteristic is called natural characteristics. Natural characteristics are things in this community that were made by nature, things that were always here, whether humans were here or not. The other type of characteristic is a human characteristic. These are the things in the community that were created by humans. So natural characteristics are the things that are just always found in nature, in the outside world. Human characteristics were the things that were created by humans. So as we read this book, we're going to stop and decide whether something is a natural characteristic or a human characteristic. So let me share my screen. Okay, sorry about the glare. Roxaboxen by Alice McLaren, illustrated by Barbara Cooney. And this is this illustrator is a two-time winner of the Caldecott Medal, which is one of the most famous awards you can get in children's literature. Roxaboxen. The dedication. Marion called it Roxaboxen. She always knew the name of everything. There, across the road, it looked like any rocky hill. Nothing but sand and rocks, some old wooden boxes, cactus and greasewood and thorny ocotillo, but it was a special place. So let's talk about that hill. That hill is an example of a natural characteristic. That hill will always be there whether humans are there or not. The street between Roxaboxen and the houses curved like a river. So Marion named it the River Road. After that, you had to ford a river to reach Roxaboxen. All right, let's talk about that river. A river, a real life river, is another example of a natural characteristic. It's things found in nature. Of course, all of Marion's sisters came, Anna May and Frances and little Jean, Charles from next door, even though he was 12. Oh, and Eleanor, naturally, and Jamie with his brother Paul. Later on, there were others, but these were the first. Well, not really the first. Roxaboxen had been there and must have belonged to others long before. When Marion dug up a tin box filled with round black pebbles, everyone knew what it was. It was buried treasure. The pebbles were the money of Roxaboxen. You could still find others like them if you looked hard enough. Some days became treasure hunting days with everybody trying to find that special kind. And then on the other days, you might just find one without even looking. A town of Roxaboxen began to grow, traced in lines of stone. Main Street first, edged with the whitest ones, and then the houses. Charles made his house of the biggest stones. After all, he was the oldest. At first, the houses were very plain, but soon they all began to add more rooms. The old wooden boxes could be shelves or tables or anything you wanted. You could find pieces of pottery for dishes. Round pieces were the best. Okay, so in this page, there were some examples of human characteristics. Main Street is a human characteristic because streets are made by humans. Streets are not there on their own. Something else that is made by humans are houses. Later on, there was a town hall. Marion was mayor, of course. That was just the way she was. Nobody minded. Here's another example of a human characteristic, and that is town hall. Town hall is a building built where the mayor works. So it's built by humans, so it's a human characteristic. After a while, they added other streets. Again, streets are human characteristics. Frances moved to one of them and built herself a new house, human characteristic, outlined in desert glass, bits of amber, amethyst, and sea green, a house of jewels. Now this one can be a little tricky, but jewels like amber and amethyst and desert glass are actually natural characteristics. Jewels come from nature. Humans take them out of nature and turn them into jewelry, but the foundation of them are from nature. And because everybody had plenty of money, there were plenty of shops. Jean helped Anna May in the bakery. Pies and cakes and bread baked warm in the sun. There were 2 ice cream parlors. Was Paul's ice cream the best or Eleanor's? Everybody kept trying them both. In Roxaboxen, you can eat all the ice cream you want. Sounds like a good idea to me. An ice cream parlor would be a human characteristic, definitely made by humans. Everybody had a car. A car is another example of a human characteristic. All you needed was something round for a steering wheel. Of course, if you broke the speed limit, you had to go to jail. The jail had cactus on the floor to make it uncomfortable, and Jamie was the policeman. So jail is an example of a human characteristic. Those are built by humans. Anna May, quiet little Anna May, was always speeding. You'd think she liked to go to jail. There's Anna May in jail. But if you had a horse, you could go as fast as the wind. There was no speed limit for horses. You didn't have to stay on the roads. All you needed for a horse was a stick and some kind of bridle. A bridle are those reins or the strings they're holding. And you could gallop anywhere. Sometimes there were wars. Once there was a great war, boys against girls. Charles and Marion were the generals. The girls had Fort Irene, and they were all Girl Scouts. The boys made a fort at the other end of Roxaboxen, and they were all bandits. So a fort is another human characteristic. Forts are built by humans. Roxaboxen had a cemetery in case anybody died, but the only grave in it was for a dead lizard. Each year when the cactus bloomed, they decorated the grave with flowers. So that cactus is a natural characteristic. Those flowers are a natural characteristic. More than 50 years later, Frances went back and Roxaboxen was still there. She could see the white stones bordering Main Street, and there, where she had built her house, the desert glass still glowed, amethyst, amber, and sea green. So again, that desert glass, amber, and amethyst are all natural characteristic, those jewels. All right, so now you are going to go back to Schoology and you're gonna do a reflection on this. It's worth 10 points. If you watch this and paid attention, you will do just fine. So good luck. If you have any questions, send me an email or send me a message on Schoology. Bye.